Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode of More Than a Sport Inspirational TV. I am your host, Abdul Rahim Laquan Or Sr., aka Arlos. I do not own the rights to this music, and what we are listening to right now is Ann Peebles, Troubles, Heartaches, and Sadness. Gotta get that good tea. All right, guys, welcome back again to another episode. Today is Monday, April 13th, 2020. Hope you guys had a good weekend. My weekend was pretty good. Didn't do too much, but I do know for my family, we had some really good news. My cousin Onika and her husband Kojo welcomed their first daughter, their first child to their family. Congratulations to you guys out there in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma. What else? What else? What else? And I spent a lot of time just listening to the news app and stuff like that, and it's mind-boggling that the murders and stuff that's still going on, in particular Philadelphia, because that's the region of news that I get is Philadelphia's news. But man, every day I wake up, I get up in the morning, and sometimes I just so happen to check out the cell phone to see what's going on, what happened while I was asleep for those few hours I was asleep. And I'm waking up and I always see somebody getting killed in this part of Philadelphia, somebody getting killed in that part of Philadelphia. It's just sad and senseless. And at the end of the day, like, first and foremost, we're supposed to have our tails in the crib quarantining. So it's just bugging me out that people are out and about and these type of senseless things is happening. But all I could do is pray for better days, and that's all I've been doing. But again, just wanted to congratulate my cousin Onika and her husband Kojo on welcoming their baby girl. Congratulations to you guys out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Again, and a lot of it, I just want to talk to you guys today, man, about this COVID-19. I never thought in my day, and I know a lot of us are saying that, we never thought in our day that we would see something like a pandemic or epidemic, something, whatever. Some people use the terminology pandemic, some use the terminology epidemic, but I never imagined in my lifetime that we will be dealing with something like this. Just hard to cut for a second, guys. I just want to interrupt this what's going on to show you guys the swag gear, more than a sports swag gear. Listen, guys, I know a lot of ladies, this is a heavy hitter for some of the men as well. I do know a Nike pair of Air Maxes that go with these red with the leopard print. So check it out. If you guys like the gear that I be wearing and displaying on the show, please inbox me and place an order, and we'll get the shirts out to you guys. All right. But the COVID-19. So it's crazy because how this thing just got us just like, and I won't say us, that it got a lot of people just mentally just flustered right now, man. Before if you cough, you ain't had to worry about nobody looking at you all crazy, and things like that. And if you wanted to get on public transportation, you didn't have to have a mask, And it's just crazy that right now, these times that we're in, that we have to go through these things. And I get it. I understand it because I'm definitely one to protect myself and my family and loved ones. And listen, I'm abiding by 96% of what they ask us to do. That 4% is just of me not abiding is when I have to go to the store, which is I try my best not to have to run back and forth out of this house. I don't really want to be out in the public right now. I'm just going to be honest. So I'm just taking advantage of these times in the house. But when I do have to leave out the house, Yeah, I'm that guy with the mask on, two masks, and well, I probably got a mask with a scarf, around my face. I got, surgical glasses on. I got gloves on, two pair. And to me, it's that important. I speak a lot, and I ain't got to go into it, but you guys know I speak about my kids and my family, and you know, I don't want to bring nothing home to the house that's going to affect, my lady or my kids, or I don't want to have to go visit my brothers and my cousin and affect them with some crap. So I'm just thinking about them as well as myself. So I abide by all the things that they ask me to do, and honestly, I don't have a problem with it. Really don't at all. But what I want to focus on with you guys today was how was this pandemic? How was it changing all of our lives? And one of the things that helped me to kind of grasp this thought was just imagine, right, that if we did not, if just imagine the kids not so much go back to school, because we're going to find out actually sooner or later whether online learning works in comparison to actual physically being in the schools, in particular for kids K through 12, high school, elementary, middle school, high school, because I know a lot of people went to college and did their whole college, whether it was their undergrad or their post-grad, online, and seem to be doing fine. So I'm not sitting up here trying to knock online learning right now. That's what we have, and that's the best. That's what we got going on. So that's our best tool right now to keep teaching our kids. And I'm not knocking it, not trying to even bring a negative dialogue to this. What I'm saying is just imagine that we had to resort to all that. But there's still some things out there, like some luxuries, some things that we consider essential that can possibly be stripped of us. A lot of us speak of working, right? And I don't know if you guys paid attention to the post I put the other day, when there was a robot with the fry machine, like if it was in McDonald's and it was making the fries and was shaking the fries and dumping them in the big, the big thing that they pop all the fries in so they could scoop them out, put them into your fry carton, whatever. But there was a robot doing that. And what not so much bothered me, but what alarmed me was, wow, they're starting to make robots to take the jobs of the teens in particular that go to McDonald's, Burger King, Checkers, et cetera, to get these jobs, to get their first job. So now they're attempting to cut that whole experience out for the teens, for the kids, right? So being that I seen that and I read that, I was just wondering, like, damn, like my son is gonna, or not even so my son, because he's 14. So in a few years, in 4 years, if things change dramatically that quick, like wow. But my daughter, my 4-year-old, so she's only 4. So in 11 years, right? She's 15. 12 years, she's 16. She's trying to get a job, and she can't get a job at a McDonald's flipping fries or burgers or being a cashier and stuff like that, because they done developed robots, artificially intelligent robots to do the job. So that had me thinking, like, the conventional way of teaching my son and my kids, it changed now. Like, I no longer can think conventionally, because it's the conventional way of thinking that I was brought up to, like that I was brought up to, and things that made me like who I am today, and that I followed, like guidelines that I followed and I was brought up under, they no longer really work. Or I'm not gonna say they don't work, but who knows how long they're gonna hold substance, So I started thinking of things like, I started talking to my son about things like, man, you sit all this time up in the house and you playing these video games, and it just seemed like video games are going to be around forever. I'm like, man, why don't you start getting into stuff like that? Sports is cool. I know my son is big and inspired to play sports professionally one day. As I told him, don't put all your eggs in that basket. Think of your academics. Think of a skill or trade, that you could pick up, something that can help you just in case all else fails, And I think that's very important that we really start to harp on things like that with our children, because again, in front of our eyes, things are changing. daily. And just look at this COVID-19. We're all stuck in the house, you know. Um, had my brother ask me, "Rod, you need anything yesterday?" And I said, honestly, what outside of food, what do I need anything? What do I need money or anything else for? I can't go to the store and buy nothing else. I was talking to my bro Big Prev the other day, and me and Prev sat, we speaking, and Prev and I was both like, man, we both went to every store we could possibly go to and bought all the electronics, bought everything that we could possibly buy, and still just feel empty because we don't have that social, not saying feel empty, right? But that therapy that we normally would get by going out to Best Buy, going to Walmart, going to Foot Locker, getting a pair of shoes, or going out to the, to I like to wear True Religion jeans. So going out to the True store and buying a pair of jeans and feeling good, like all that stuff right now is done. You know what I'm saying? And me and him sat there and talked about it, and then me and my brother spoke about it last night, and it was just like, ain't no real purpose for that stuff right now. So what are the things that we're holding on to that have substance? That post COVID-19 pandemic that can push us forward, you know? And I was just thinking of some things, and I'm still thinking, listen, I don't have the answers. I'm not trying to sit up here and tell you guys I have the answer to what I'm asking. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that my mindset and my thought process has now switched to start to think about things like this, to think about money post COVID-19 pandemic, right? For those who are struggling financially during these times, right? Maybe due to work or because your job shut down, you're not getting paid or whatever it may be. A lot of us, millions of us is going through that right now, the same thing, right? But how are you getting through? How have your mindset flipped to help you to cope during these times right now? And that's where my mindset is starting to flip to. With More Than a Sport, we're starting to take a new route. We're introducing new ways to kind of engage our audience, and networking and partnering with some people who we can help and they can help us. And it's outside of this COVID-19, this being a pandemic and stuff like that. I have to honestly say that, I found love. What she say? And people say, I found love. Listen, I found a new love. Rather than me used to being scared of the internet, I found that I actually love the internet. I learned so much, and let me tell you guys, like, the computers and all that stuff have been out for a while, right? It's 2020. I am just learning the internet. 2020. Listen, I went to college, graduated, I went to high school. If you look at my setup right now, I have iPads, I have computers, I have the cell phone, I have all these Gitchy gadgets, right? And only why I really got them because the person, like people around me got them. And I just wanted to feel like, oh, I'm cool like them. But I had no clue on how to really set up a dude. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's gonna bug you out, but I just really learned how to set up emails. I feel so embarrassed saying that. But listen, honestly, a couple years ago, I would tell people, email me first. I always thought that, just email me and I respond to it, right? Because I didn't know how to go and set up a damn email to send an email to somebody. Had to email my resume. I had to wait for my son or somebody to come around. Set this email up for me because, the computers and all that stuff just gave me anxiety. And we all know when stuff bothers us or causes us to stress, whatever, we tend to run from it for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Until we understand how to, put our fears to the side, or let our efforts be greater than our fears, like the episode we had last week on Wednesday. I don't know, it's just, you think different, you know what I mean? But now, like I told you guys, like I love the fact that things are starting to change and things are happening, and there's some good and there's some good, and there's a lot of bad that came out of this thing here. The bad is, people who have contracted or have transitioned from this COVID-19. That's the bad part. That's mainly the bad part. That's the major bad part. The second bad part is people losing their jobs or people out of work and can't provide and sustain. That's the second bad thing, right? And the third bad thing is we don't know how life's going to be post This is going on. So those are three things. Those three things alone can drive an individual crazy, right? But there's so much good things that came out of all of this. And the reason why I say that, because it's causing people to think outside of the box. You know, it's informing people like, yo, something simple as yo, washing your hands is important. It's causing fathers and parents like myself and educators to think outside of the box of how we're going to educate our kids, how we're going to educate our students. How are we now going to prepare them for the future workforce? Because everything's going to change, you know, and it's just mind-boggling to all of us, you know, that we're going through this right now. But through it all, we have to all find ways. We got to all find ways to, you know, to let our dreams be bigger than our fears. We still got to find ways to pay it forward. We still got to make an effort and not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? We still got to do these things. We just have to become innovative doing these things. You know what I'm saying? How can we still reach the masses? How can we still go out and sustain and take care of families? How can we still dream big? How can we still pursue our goals in life? You know, all these things still have to happen. How? You know, and again, I'm asking you guys, I'm not coming to you guys to ask how, because I know the answer. I'm just trying to get you guys to use this wonderful brain that God gave us to think outside of the box, you know? Like, real talk, I'm gonna tell you an example of how I was thinking outside of the box, and then I'm gonna get off topic for a second, right? So you see this shirt, right? Red sweatshirt, right? With leopard print. You know, you got your little thing on the side, you know. We've been around since 2018, you know, New Jersey, PA, and we're trying to develop a little something down in North Carolina as well. Shout out to Achieve that's going big down there in North Carolina, Central University. But, you know, thinking outside the box, what could it get you? You know, me thinking outside the box got me a couple sales on people wanting to, you know, on the shirts, and they're like, yo, we like your Motorsport shirt. Cool, let's make some money from Motorsport, put it in the bank. You know, so that was one way of positively thinking outside of the box, right? Another way is, hey guys, we got the Motorsport motivation innovation. I'm tripping. We got Motorsport inspiration on TV, right? That's another way of thinking outside the box for me in particular, because again, if you'd have told me in January, if you'd have told me March, I can't say March because I was out of work. I was out of work over all of March. So if you'd have told me Valentine's Day, that a month and a half later, right, that I would be resorting and doing everything when it comes to motorsport on the internet, I'd have been like, yeah, right, because I ain't with the internet stuff. Like, I mean, I ain't really comfortable on the internet. And I wouldn't have believed you. I would have said, no, I wouldn't have, none of that. You know what I mean? But I'm here today, a month and a half, pretty much later, right? Everything going on the internet. And again, like I told you guys not too long ago, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. This pandemic has pushed me to really learn how to, like, ultimately manage my time. You know, and it's crazy because my day, for the most part, is like planned out from start at 4 a.m. to finish at like 8, 9 a.m. These last few days I've been going very, very hard, meaning I've been staying up late to like 10 o'clock, and it's killing me in the morning trying to get up. I ain't gonna lie. But, you know, we got some wonderful things going on. We will be having a guest from our podcast on the Inspirational TV show, talking to you guys about what inspired them to want to partake in the podcast that I'm producing with all these young men. And, you know, what are some of the ways that they're going to try to come and talk to the young men and the young women and even the parents and try to pay it forward. Now, the podcast, just to give you guys a heads up, is we're targeting men 21 and up. We really want to try to help our young men, you know, through this podcast and giving them some informational things to build them up as men, dads, you know, workers, business owners, whatever it may be, et cetera, et cetera. We're looking to work and build those guys up. So it's going to be a very, very wonderful show. We are, if you feel like you're interested and you have some words of inspiration, encouragement, or motivation that you would like to lend to the men 21 and up, please inbox me so that we can get you scheduled to come on the show and go from there. All right. But you know, just to kind of get back on the main topic, which was just times are changing, you know, and what are we doing with the times and stuff that is changing. Just looking at my notes, a lot. If you look at a lot of the industries, right, that's starting to change. Just think about if you guys drove the turnpike on any turnpike or any toll road over the last 10 years, right? What they started doing, they started laying off actual people, and they started not hiring, but putting robots and stuff to collect your money, or coin counters and stuff like that, right? Or what people are really not paying attention to, right? It's Easy Pass. You know how many jobs Easy Pass, how many people that Easy Pass put out of work? A lot. I don't give a crap. Where you go on any toll road, it's Easy Pass. Prior to Easy Pass was a human collecting that toll. Now, mind you, things move a little quicker. See the thing about with us and people as humans, we're impatient. So the Easy Pass helps us to continue on doing what we got to be doing without no interruption. And no, the traveler does not want to be interrupted, right? But what about the person who's being interrupted because they lost their job, because they used to sit up in that booth and collect the money? Now they're interrupted. So it's a chain reaction, a positive and a negative to pretty much everything, you know. And that's one of the things that we see, but we don't really pay attention to. Another thing, right? And let me give you a tip on that, right? So this is why I don't have Easy Pass. So I don't know if you guys remember my degree, but my degree is management labor relations. So, you know, a lot of my studies in college was about the workforce. And I remember, like, you know, just having a thought one day, like, my first time I went into a place in Elizabeth, New Jersey called Stop and Shop, and they had a self-checkout thing. I'm like, this is weird. Like, where the people at? And I started thinking, like, man, these robots ain't doing them, taking people's jobs. It was something I made a joke of, but then after I left out the store, I'm like, yo, this is, started paying attention to stuff. And now it's full blown. Everywhere you go, every shopping store, like every toll road has a self-checkout, right? And all they're doing is collecting data. They're collecting data. Every time you use it, compared to the person who want to wait in line, it's all data being collected to make a decision saying, you know what, this year, we're going to lay off 4 employees from each 4 cashiers from every shop, right? Or every Giant, or every Acme, or every Stop and Shop. Or we're going to lay off 4 more toll collectors from the Pennsylvania, New Jersey Turnpike connection, you know, or wherever it may be. You know, everything they do right now, they're collecting data. And just like right now, right? Just like right now with the Corona COVID-19 pandemic, right? It's data being collected. You know, what type of data? Listen, again, I don't know. But they got to be collecting some type of data to try to move into what they feel is a better tomorrow for the world, you know? We as individuals just have to learn to start moving into a better place for us and for a better tomorrow for us, you know? And I don't mean to say that in a selfish sense. What I'm saying is, how are you going to make yourself relevant in 2025? How are you still going to be relevant in 2025? And let's just be realistic. How are you going to be relevant in 2021? In September of 2020, how are you still going to be relevant? You know, so you got to start to develop a plan. You got to start to develop developing like ways to adapt to the changes that are being made, and it's happening every day right in front of us. Every day in front of us, change is happening. So we got to start preparing ourselves for that. You know, parents, let's start putting that effort into our children. Let's start guiding them into a direction academically that's going to help them to be able to go out there and be able to still be competitive. Even if they're not on the sports field, let's teach them to be competitive in the workforce in corporate America. We got to start teaching our kids that we got to get away from the typical academic backgrounds that we go to colleges for. And I'm not so much sitting up here saying college is the answer, because every kid at school is not for everybody, right? But a trade, you know, learning how to be skillful with these right here can mean so much, can take you so far, you know. So talking to our kids about being skilled labor with our hands, skilled laborers with our hands, you know, being able to think, teach them how to think outside of the box, you know. And as parents, educators, mentors, role models, et cetera, right? We got to learn to start thinking outside of the box on how we doing things with our youth, you know, on what we're saying to our youth, what type of habits or what type of like knowledge that we're trying to instill into these youth, into our kids, into the youth. We gotta be innovative with that type of stuff, man. You know, and we all can do it. We all can do it because listen, if it's something that we really wanted, right, we will figure out a way to go out there and get it, right? Well, right now, things that we want is kind of like fade into the black, you know. So how can you kind of bring it back to make it relevant? How can you prepare yourself to continue to pursue your goals? You know, basically what it's going to come down to. All those things is something that we should all be thinking about on a daily basis, you know, and trying to understand these times and how things are changing during these times, you know. But thank you guys again for another wonderful episode of More Than Sport Inspirational TV. I hope today I was able to help you guys out with the information that I shared. I hope you guys are getting prepared for the times that are changing. A little off key today, but I still got to give a shout out to my people over at Stash Lemon Ginger Herbal Tea. Huh? And listen, this is something different today, right? So this is chocolate mint Zone Perfect bars. You know, guys, these are my favorite protein bars and stuff. But I picked up a new flavor because my son don't like peanuts and peanut butter. So I kind of stopped. I got to kind of go half and half buying something different like mint chocolate compared to the peanut butter ones I want to get all the time. But, you know, it's all good. I got to do anything for my young man. So I had to switch up. But shout out to them. If you guys are not following us, you guys can follow us at More Than a Sport not Inspirational TV, but More Than a Sport on Instagram, More Than a Sport on Facebook, the new More Than a Sport on Twitter. You guys can follow us at More Than a Sport on YouTube, and then we also have a website at www.morethanthesport.com. Excuse me, guys, it's early. It's like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock right now. But shout out to everybody from last week who watched the episodes, who liked the episodes, who shared. Thank you guys. And for the first 5 people today, right? For first 5 people who comment, who like, comment, and share today's episode, you guys will receive a free More Than a Sport water bottle. That'll be mailed out to you guys this week. I will be inboxing you guys for your addresses, and I will be shipping out your free water bottles. All right. Again, guys, thank you. It's been a wonderful time. Look forward to spending more time with you guys, and look forward to coming back on Wednesday morning to share some more insight with you guys and to continue to inspire, motivate, and encourage you guys. All right. Shout out again to my cousin Onika and my cousin Kojo for them having their first child and bringing a little baby girl into the world. And for everybody else, please stay safe. Stay in the house if you don't have to come outside. Continue to wash your hands. When you go outside, come back in the house, take your clothes off, put them in the wash machine, or put them in a bag so they can be washed immediately with hot water. And let's abide by these quarantine rules that they have going on for us right now. It's only to protect us. Let's get through this now so that we can have later to move around and to gain some of our liberties back that we once had, all right? Thank you guys again. This is your host, Abdul Rahim Laquan, or Senior, a.k.a. Arlo. And remember, guys, it's always more than a sport.